Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David Rooney, publisher of the Revelstoke Current, and I hope you've all had a happy, well, relatively happy 2016, and are looking forward to 2017, because that's what we're going to be doing this morning in an interview with Mayor Mark McKee. Mayor?
Hi, David. Everybody out there, first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to thank David Rooney and the Revelstoke Current for again contacting me and doing this 2016 review, and we're going to talk about what's going to be happening in 2017 as we move forward. But it's great to have this opportunity to connect with the public and tell them what's going on, what's happened, and what the processes and issues that are going to be coming up in the future. And just like David, I hope everybody's had time to relax and enjoy the Christmas holidays. And in case I forget, I just wanted to also wish everybody a happy 2017 and the best of the new year. Thank you. So just recapping projects and priorities and issues for 2016, I think one of the biggest things that came out of 2016 was the Big Eddy water. The community voted in favor of the city taking it over, upgrading it. We were successful in getting a $1.9 million infrastructure grant, and so anyways, that's a real good vote of confidence, and I think a real good move for us to move forward. The Thomas Brook also went through a very similar process. They also did an annexation. There's major water problems up in that area, and that community up there voted to annex into the city, and voted also in favor of the water and sewer upgrades, and that will be ongoing. The affordable housing project this past year opened up, and we have a brand new 12-unit townhouse development, and it's full, and people are really enjoying it, getting a lot of great comments on it. And again, the Affordable Housing Society is going through a structural change, and I just would encourage anybody that has any inclination of helping out with affordable housing to put their name forward and become a member of the Housing Society. I will be stepping down as chair, but I will be staying on as a member, and of course, being mayor, I'm extremely concerned and committed to affordable housing in the community. Of course, everybody is, I think, mostly aware that we started getting a handle on vacation rentals. We went to an enforcement-based system. We're going through rezoning. We're inspecting vacation rentals for health and safety, and you're going to be hearing more and more about vacation rentals as we move forward, but we have started a process. We also had some issues with bears this past year, and their little cousins. We've had some issues with rats as well. We've really stepped up our bylaw enforcement. It really gets down to people managing or not managing bear attractants, fruit trees, garbage. Again, that's going to be another issue we are going to be talking about extensively. Of course, the roundabout project started, and we are trying to get a handle on traffic issues down at the Mutis Road and where the Tim Hortons McDonald's intersection, and the roundabout is the first phase of that. Mackenzie Village, the rezoning process has started, and I see that they've actually opened up a sales office up there for phase 1 development, but that was an item that took up a lot of time and effort in 2016, and that is moving forward as well. Treehouse Hotel, we also had another annexation there and a rezoning, big controversial project in the community that council voted in favor of moving forward with, and again, that took up a lot of planning and staff time in City Hall. Mountain View School, glad to see this one moving forward with the rezoning and the heritage revitalization bylaw. I think it's a real important heritage building in the community, and I'm glad that council voted in favor of helping them out. We have given an extension of no taxes on this building for 5 years to help with the renovations, and I think that we played a significant role in saving and revitalizing this heritage building, and looking forward to that project unfolding more. We've had an ongoing program of replacing street lights with LED lights, and we've started that over the last couple of years and did some last year, and there'll be more of that coming as well. We've also started last year asset management, where it's a program where we look at all the assets of the city, whether it's vehicles, roads, sewer pipe, water, everything, and so that we can put it on a life cycle of maintenance and replacement. And this is just us getting a better handle on the assets of the city and making sure that we're managing them and getting the most out of our tax dollars when we're managing these assets. There's been some staff changes this past year. Graham Ingles, our Director of Finance, has retired. We are in the process of replacing Graham as well. Dean Strachan was our Manager of Development Services. Dean has decided to move on and take a job elsewhere, and those are both pretty big shoes to fill in our staff lineup, and we are going through that hiring process right now. But there's been some significant milestones outside of the city, partly in the city, that I think are worthwhile mentioning, and I think that the first one that comes to my mind is Jeff Batterby winning the Order of Canada, and something that I think that the whole community is extremely proud of, for Jeff to win this award. Well deserved, and I can't offer enough congratulations to Jeff on that Order of Canada. We have a committee that started a project of building a helipad at the hospital. They've collected significant amounts of dollars. This is a $465,000 project. The last I heard, I think they're around $345,000, and so we're coming to the end of the fundraising. They still need a little bit to get over the hump, so if you're thinking about donating to the helipad, they could use a little bit more money, and I see that project happening in 2017 being built. Revelstoke Adventure Park is it's in its final approvals, and that's going to be a nice addition to the outskirts of the community. The Pipe Mountain Coaster opened this year to rave reviews, huge lineups, and had I think a significant impact on the visitorship and the tourism in our community. Ramada Inn we had a groundbreaking ceremony, and they've started construction of a new hotel up on the highway. This, of course, is on the site that had some controversy earlier, where a highway mall was proposed, and that was turned down by council. But that site is now the current site for this new Ramada Inn. I think that the message I'm really trying to tell everybody is that City Hall is extremely busy. There's lots going on. The town is busy, and that is going to continue right through till next year and beyond. So I think that we've gone through a lot of things, and we've set the direction for a lot of processes and projects. I think that we're on a good path, and I see that continuing into 2017. So I don't know if you have any comments, David, before I move into 2017.
I do. That's a pretty lengthy list of accomplishments, Mark, and for the most part, I think they're all pretty positive. Do you keep track on these things from year to year? Do you have a sense of where the city ended up this year as opposed to, say, same time in 2015?
Well, we monitor things like business licenses, which are up. We're up over 1,000. I think 1,044 is where we are right now, something like that. But we also monitor building permits and the amount of dollars that are going into construction. And I think that since 2014, I think we're pretty well double where we were in 2014. So I haven't got the year-end numbers yet, but it's probably going to be in around the $20 million range. So it would have been higher, except that what I'm hearing is that a lot of the development that was being proposed, they couldn't find people to actually do the work, is the message that I get back. So there's pent-up demand from 2016 that will be moving forward to 2017, and people are already talking about their projects for 2017. So 2017 is going to be as busy or a busier year than 2016 has been.
What do you see as coming up as in 2017 as potential milestones for the city?
Well, I've got a couple things on my list here, and I think that the biggest thing that we are going to have to be getting ahead of the curve on at City Hall and with City Council is looking at our infrastructure, making sure that our infrastructure can manage the needs of the demands of the community, demands of the development community. So we're going to be doing a liquid waste management plan, which really does an in-depth study of the sewage treatment plant and looking at our options for expansion of that to meet the demands that's coming. So right on the heels of liquid waste management is going to be looking at our needs for water and making sure that we meet the demands of the community. Because we all have to remember is that we're not a community of 7,500 people. We are a community of 7,500 people with another 5,000 or 7,000 people that are visiting, staying here, staying in hotel, motel, recreating here. So we're actually a community of 15,000. So we have to make sure that we can supply all the needs of 15,000 people, but we're 7,500. So I think that's the easiest way to put it in perspective. And that's not just infrastructure, that's also social, that's also fire department, RCMP. So we have all these demands and that we got to make sure that we can look after. So water, sewer, roads, we're going to have increased demands and all those things, and we got to make sure that we can meet those. We got to make sure that we can pay for them. So we're going to be looking at our development cost charge bylaw, because new development should be paying for a lot of these upgrades in expansion in services. So that's going to be one of the first things that's going to be on the books that we're going to be doing for 2017. Of course, we are just getting started in our budget process with retirements and staff changes. It's we're not as far ahead as what I would like to have been, but it's you deal with what you have, and I know that all the different departments are ready. It's just a matter of sitting down, going through it, and getting the budget process going as quickly as possible. We have hired outside help with the director of finance position not filled. We are getting some outside help with the budget process.
Now, Alan Mason, a longtime community economic development officer, is retiring in February. He's going to be tough to replace.
Yep. And just like everybody else, we've got some great staff that are doing an exceptional job. When you're in small town, you have to do a lot more than you would in a bigger center where you have a lot more employees. So, and yeah, you're right. Alan Mason is going to be a tough guy to replace. We're starting that process as well. He's retiring in February, like you mentioned. So getting our staff all realigned and up to speed and up to snuff is going to be one of the early priorities for 2017. We got Director of Finance, we have the Manager of Development Services, and now Economic Development that we have to fill. But one of the nice things about it is that just like increased demand for development, we are becoming a more and more desirable place to live. So these positions, I'm hoping we can, as a community, we can attract some pretty top caliber people, because we are becoming a place that people want to move to. And that's good.
Well, let's hope they're quick learners, because they're going to have they have a real steep learning curve.
Well, when you get into this type of position, I have all the confidence in the world that they're going to be quick learners, and they're going to learn how we like to do things, and we've got a long reputation of the way that Revelstoke operates, and I'm sure that everybody that applies for this community does a little bit of research, and they find out that we like to do things a little bit differently. So, but anyways, I'm looking forward to that. Of course, asset management is going to continue. That's you're going to hear a lot more about it, especially as we tax I don't know if tax is the right word, but we tax our infrastructure a little bit more. We have increased demands on it, so we have to make sure that our asset management program is up to speed, and we're watching and we're dealing with problems before that they happen. Talked about liquid waste management. Talked about earlier about the Big Eddy Water and the Thomas Brook. We are going to see construction starting on both of these projects this year. Thomas Brook will most likely be finished by the summertime. Big Eddy Water, I'm not sure. We haven't decided yet how we're going to do, how fast it'll be done. It's just a matter of getting through the engineering, getting out tender documents, and seeing how that unfolds. But it definitely is going to be starting this year. The roundabout project will be finished this year. There's going to be issues going to be dealt with at the Bend Road, and of course the Mutis Road and Victoria Road, where the left turn lanes will be blocked off. There'll be no post barriers put in, and that'll complete that area for this phase, and because we do have another phase that we could go to, which is another roundabout on the other side of the Trans-Canada Highway. Right now that's put on the back burner because we're thinking that this is going to make a huge of enough impact to alleviate a lot of the backlog and the backing up on the Trans-Canada. So that project will be finished, and then we can monitor it and see how it positively changes the traffic flows in that area.
I gotta say, as one frequent driver here in the city, that single project alleviates a lot of stress going down to the Trans-Canada on
Yeah,
Victoria Road.
well, I'm hearing lots of good comments on it. I have always been concerned about it and making sure that we're spending the money that it's actually going to fix the problem. So I'm looking forward to the next phase of it getting done and just seeing how well the traffic moves. But one thing that I do want to throw a reminder out to people is that if you're in the roundabout and you're leaving the roundabout, signal when you're leaving. It makes things way easier and smoother for everybody else. And I try to get in the habit of every time that I leave the roundabout, whether there's cars coming or not, to signal, so I create that habit of signaling to get out of the roundabout, because when cars are entering, it just makes it so much easier for them when they know what you're going to do. Signal when you're leaving the roundabout.
Well, another question with regards to roundabouts is, having seen how well this roundabout works, could a similar roundabout at 4th Street and Townley?
Exactly. Well, and that's an area that's going to be looked at, and I think that Nickel Road and Airport Way is another area that long term is going to be looked at. But no, I agree that that's been talked about, a roundabout in that area. I think that we got to get this one finished, but definitely that's another bottleneck intersection.
Yeah.
You know. I talked earlier about bears and rats, and we are really going to step up our game on enforcement of bear attractants. Bear attractants are the same attractants that rats are attracted to. Mishandling garbage, compost, fruit trees. So bylaw enforcement commissioners are going to be doing a lot more enforcement. But also we've had several meetings with the Conservation Office, and we are going to be working proactively with conservation officers in the community, and they're going to be spending a lot more time here, and you're going to see a lot more patrols, and hopefully we'll have a significant reduction in the bear euthanization that happened this past year. Unfortunate, not something that people want to see. I understand why it happens, but if we all do our part a little bit better, that'll have the biggest impact on how we interact with bears and rats. So you'll be seeing a lot and hearing a lot more about that. Vacation rental. So we've started a big process. That process is going to carry on in 2017. We are going to be getting a report from staff, a review of where we are in the cap, where we are as far as how many are illegal ones that are still operating, and council is going to be reviewing it and deciding make a decision on what we're going to do. We may increase the cap. We may stop where we are. We're going to be already. I know we're going to be introducing a kind of a two-tiered system where vacation rentals are going to be full house, or where the landlord is on site and living in the house and maybe renting out 1 or 2 bedrooms or a basement suite as a vacation rental. That so there'll be a two-tiered system for vacation rental zoning. That's kind of the direction that I see that we'll be going in. Trails master plan. This is getting dusted off, being reviewed, and we're going to be seeing that. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be exciting to have a trails master plan all through the community, and we can be, once we have a trails master plan that is approved, we can then start biting off chunks of it and expanding it, and with the explosion of mountain biking and people wanting to cross-country ski and hiking, I can see that a Trails Master Plan is going to be a real nice addition to the community. So that's these are some of the things that I see are going to be happening in 2017. Of course, the city is kind of fluid in that things are going to come up. I think that we've already seen how busy 2016 has been. 2017 is going to be as busy or busier, and I'm looking forward to all of the things that are be coming across our plate and dealing with them. I think that this is exciting times in Revelstoke, and it's going to get even more exciting. And that's everything that I got, David.
I think that's enough.
Well, we like to be busy. We like to be busy.
Well, you had your work cut out for you this year, and it sounds like 2017 is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah. And again, we're always looking for constructive criticism, ideas, and thoughts on how we can do things better. But I think that overall, I think we got a great team here at City Hall, and everybody wants to do a good job. Everybody is doing a good job. Can we do better? Of course we can do better. But it's only with help from the community, all the committees, and the positive input that we get, we will make things better. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that you are too.
That brings me to a question. Are we getting the kind of engagement with the community that we need?
Well, I think that every process that we're going through is seeing more and more people that are committed or want their input listened to, their ideas. I think that we're getting more and more of it than we ever have in the past.
Certainly, I mean, the public hearings that have been held every council meeting for the past 4 months.
Public hearings, but then there's public information sessions, and there's rezoning applications. So the community's come out in full force. I was going to talk about the efficient community plan, but that's going to depend on getting our planning department built back up with staff, because it's a huge undertaking, and I don't know if we're going to start an OCP review in 2017 or not. It all depends on how fast we get our staff built back up.
Yeah, last time that was you were still mayor the last time that occurred. It was in the second your second term, I think it was.
Yeah.
Will we need to go to outside consultants for additional help?
Well, the previous plan that was that we were not, but again, with staff changes, I don't know. And if the development community is coming forward more than they did last year, then I already know what's going to be happening to that department. They're going to be overloaded with work, and it may not be possible. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to get the new director of development services on board and up to speed, and just look at it. But that is on the radar. That is going to have to get done.
Okay. Well, Your Worship, thank you very much.
Okay. Again, thanks, David, and Revelstoke Current. It's great to have this kind of forum where we can reach out to the community, and in addition to my usual regular Friday radio show and comments to all the newspapers, this is just another avenue to getting more information. And again, looking forward to any feedback that anybody has. Thank you, and all the best in 2017.
Thanks. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to this is the last video of I'm going to be making for 2016, and but the first for 2017. And I hope you have a very happy New Year. Thank you. Bye bye.